just when you least expect it. Brian Kilmeade, perhaps for the first time in his entire life, makes a tiny bit of sense. Let's watch.
The president seeing an opportunity to get admitted his second term off the mat, now all of a sudden finds himself back on the campaign trail with a common enemy, a familiar enemy, anybody with an R, any member of the GOP. But the polls indicate right now that the president has no urgency to deal with the Republicans. He's benefiting from this. And the American people, for the most part, are blaming Republicans. Until those polls get even, they're not coming back. I'm telling you, if Harry Reid stays to the sideline, unless he gets a clean resolution, the only thing that would change his mind is the American people stood up, and when the pollster called your house, don't say we're eating, answer the question and say, no, I blame both. Right. That'll get the president to the table.
So that's interesting. So, of course, he blames President Obama. Nobody's surprised by that. But basically, he's saying, look, he's not going to back down. And the Republicans might be in some trouble here because the polls are blaming the Republicans. So the shutdown might not be such a great idea. Is the world upside down? What's happening here? How could Brian Kilmeade be right about anything? All right, so Steve Doocy, of course, has to jump in and say, wait a minute. I'm not sure you got this thing right, Brian. And then they get a debate.
All you have to do is look at the polls. The Affordable Care Act, while it is law of the land, it is wildly unpopular in this country. And so a lot of people go, well, you know what, the Tea Party wing of the Republican Party, that they're holding the rest of the Congress hostage. You know what? Those people, many of them were elected to absolute, they campaigned on, if you send me to Washington, I will do everything I can to defund or delay it.
You say it's unpopular, and over 50% of the country doesn't seem to want it. But 8 million more people voted for it because Mitt Romney would have been president if the American people.
November election last time was not not about Obamacare.
But he talked a lot about it.
He did.
They knew that if they elected Mitt Romney,
binders and
women.
Whoa, that's 2 in a row for Kilmeade, breaking all records. He's usually the goofiest guy on Fox and Friends, but he's right. Look, the American people just had an opportunity to take down Obamacare. They know that if they voted for Mitt Romney, that they would have gotten rid of Obamacare. And they didn't vote for Mitt Romney. You know who agrees with him? Funny enough, same day, Ann Romney's on TV, and listen to what she said.
It's frustrating for me that a lot of Americans never got to see Mitt for the real candidate that he was. You know, there's so much vilifying that goes on in a campaign. You know that's going to come, but for me, at the end of the day, if people had honestly known he was the most capable candidate, that he would have made a difference, he would have stopped Obamacare.
Would we be right now in a shutdown?
We would not be in a shutdown.
But there's Ann Romney proving Brian Kilmeade right. If they had voted for Romney, people know that they wouldn't have gotten Obamacare, that he would have shut it down. And that, I guess he wouldn't have a conflict with the Republicans. That's true, right? But we would have lost Obamacare. But guess what? People didn't vote for Mitt Romney. President Obama won, and comfortably so. So the American people have decided. So Fox News, why don't you drink a tall glass of shut-up juice? It's already over. But of course, for the Republicans, it's never over. They're going to relitigate this. It will be 20 years from now, and they'll still be talking about how we should end Obamacare. It's outrageous. And who is the next guest on Fox and Friends? Oh, well, fair and balanced, they had Betsy McCaughey on. And who is she? She's the person who invented the quote-unquote death panels. I say invented because it's not in the bill. She just pretended that it was in the bill, called it death panels, and everybody started talking about it. And so now Fox News has her as in charge of their segment called Eyes on Obamacare. And she comes in and invents other bullshit things about Obamacare. Like today on Fox and Friends, she talked about how, did you know that if you do this with the deductibles and the medical expenses and you go with that plan, Obamacare could cost a quarter or even a third of your entire salary. Where's the facts for that? Right out of Betsy's ass. So what does Elizabeth Hasselbeck say? Quote, Betsy's our hero of the day. Well, I bet she is. So, but hey, score one for Kilmeade.